Reassurance feels good in the immediate short term, but it's actually a trap that keeps us repeating our patterns of anxiety over time. By the end of this video, you'll understand why less and less reassurance over time is actually a way to experience more freedom from anxiety. My name is Dr. Parke. I'm a psychologist for youth, and here at Through the Waters, we nurture youth mental health. A core aspect of anxiety is that it can involve discomfort with uncertainty. So whether we're talking about generalized anxiety or social anxiety or health anxiety or another type of anxiety, being uncomfortable with uncertainty can be a main undercurrent that is driving the anxiety. Us humans are inherently uncomfortable with uncertainty. Some people even say we're more uncomfortable with uncertainty than we are with death as a species overall. When we're struggling with anxiety and we experience uncertainty, we can sometimes have a natural desire to seek out more of a sense of certainty or reassurance. I'm going to share a made-up story to illustrate how this works. Let's say there's a human named Annie, and she's struggling with anxiety. She frequently asks her mom, Betsy, for reassurance. Annie often asks Betsy questions like, am I going to be okay? Is today going to be okay? Is my presentation going to go all right? Am I going to make the team? Annie's frequent asking of these questions is called reassurance-seeking. Betsy, her mom, is well-intentioned and caring and loving, so she responds by saying things like, yes, Annie, you're going to be okay. Yes, today is going to be okay. Yes, your presentation is going to go all right. Yes, you'll make the team. Now, a small amount of reassurance seeking is normal and it can be helpful in the short term. However, when Annie and Betsy repeat the cycle of anxiety and reassurance seeking over time to the point that it becomes really frequent and intense, it can actually become a vicious cycle that feeds Annie's anxiety. And truthfully, it can also be exhausting for Betsy. Some folks with anxiety actually say that they feel addicted to their need for reassurance from other people. And by the way, if you're finding this video valuable, please like and subscribe so that you can continue to benefit from this mental health education, and also so that more folks who are struggling with this cycle can find this video and find freedom from this cycle. Okay, so the way out of this anxiety reassurance cycle is for Annie to expand her inner capacity to tolerate uncertainty. It might be helpful for Annie and Betsy to have a conversation together where they recognize the cycle and come up with a way out of it together. For example, Annie might agree to try asking for reassurance a little less often, or delay asking her question for a while so that she learns to tolerate her discomfort and cope with it herself. This is a process that can start small and grow gradually over time, and it might mean that Annie actually experiences a little more anxiety at first. Therefore, she might need to practice some new coping skills like relaxation exercises, modifying her thoughts, or facing her fears. Just like riding a bike, it takes intentional practice over time to learn those skills and build that confidence. That's why I have an online program called Peace to the People, where folks learn these anxiety skills, and I'll share a sign-up link in the description below for that program. Now, as a parent, Betsy might agree to respond differently to Annie's reassurance seeking by saying things like, I don't know, what do you think? Or, you already know the answer to that question. Or, I'm confident you can cope with this. What coping skills can you try? Again, it's helpful for Annie and Betsy to have this conversation ahead of time so that they both know what to expect and they're on the same page about what they're going to be practicing little by little over time. So that's a brief summary of how the anxiety reassurance cycle can be broken, and I'll provide some helpful links in the description that go into more detail for you as well. Feel free to leave a comment below if you'd like to share what's been helpful for you in finding freedom from this anxiety reassurance cycle.